Before I start today's weekend review video, I just wanted to show you what I've been doing to de-stress. This is what I've been doing. I actually took kind of a break from reading and I decided to open one of my puzzles. This actually came from my friend Julie on Living Large on Lifetime. She sent this to me for Christmas. So anyway, I think I'll finally finish that. I'm going to buy another one this weekend because I think I'm going to finish this probably this weekend. But yeah, this is really it. If you guys like this type of thing, it really is such a de-stressor for me. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a weekend review. Just going to talk about how my week went, how the scale was, and also I have some test results for you. I saw my doctor for my yearly wellness visit, plus we did a check on my thyroid and ran some tests, and I have those results back, and I just wanted to talk to you about those. So first off, as far as the scale, I was exactly the same this week, which is fine. I kind of have a new outlook on all that after getting my test results back and after talking to my doctor. I really have such a different outlook now on the scale and my body and my weight and all of that, and so I'll kind of go into that a little bit. I don't expect over the next couple weeks that I will probably have very much success on the scale because I realize it's going to be that time of the month, probably any day, because I was having severe cramps yesterday. So sorry, TMI, but that is reality and that is life. So anywho, on Monday I went to my doctor. Well, first let me just talk about my week. My week really was fantastic. I think it was great that I had my doctor's appointment on Monday because it really set me up for just such a great week, and it just had me in such a positive mood. And I realized this is just how I need to be because it just set me up. I mean, even at work, you know, I was extremely busy. I had a huge project I had to do that was due on Wednesday, and I had no issues. I mean, I had such a positive mindset about it. I didn't feel stressed or anything. Speaking of stress, I did a lot. I just made sure I didn't have any stress at all. I mean, I just fell into my old routine for as far as my morning routine. You know, I put my little laundry in the morning. I you know, just did my usual, you know, kind of wiped up the bathrooms. I mean, just the usual stuff I used to do, but I used to stress over it because I wasn't getting it done. Come home, put the little laundry in the dryer, fold the little laundry. I mean, I have like one little laundry right now sitting in the basket that I need to put in the washer before I leave, and I'm done. I don't have any laundry to do this weekend. Well, I have some folding and putting away, but I don't have a huge stack of laundry to do this weekend. I don't know. It was just a great week as far as mentally. It was a great week. Food-wise, I felt like I did really good. Yesterday, I did not film because my husband was home because he had his doctor's appointment yesterday, and it was like at 7:30, so he was up the same time I was. And plus, I just wasn't feeling the greatest as far as because I was having terrible cramps, and which my doctor, by the way, said is normal as I get older. But anyway, so I just did not really eat much yesterday for breakfast. I had the sweet potato toast, and I had for lunch I had one of my meal preps, the Italian pasta, which is really good, by the way. And then dinner, I was not hungry at dinner, so I drank some tea and just had a little bit of pineapple, and that was it. I mean, I just was not hungry. So this morning I woke up terribly hungry, and I'm going to talk about kind of what I'm eating but I'm going to talk to you about my test results first, so you kind of know why I'm choosing some of the foods I'm choosing. So I did really good diet-wise. I found a new kind of food find for me were those Figgy Pops that I was showing all week, and they're actually in my desk drawer at work because I wanted to kind of have something there that was healthy, so I would stay away from some of the stuff that could tempt me. But they are pretty high points. 2 of them are 5 points. 1 of them's 2 points. But they are extremely healthy for you. They only have, I think they have dates, and then the ones I got were apricot cashew. So they had cashew, and they're organic, so all their ingredients are organic. But clean ingredients, no fillers, no preservatives, no artificial stuff. So even though they're kind of higher points, I'm at the point right now where that's not going to bother me. I'm just going to do what is good for my body and fuel my body. So so let's just talk about my test results. So every year he runs well, normally he just runs the cholesterol, just a regular, like, you know, health preventative type testing just to see, you know, where I'm at. But because I went in there and I told him that, you know, since I having the flu, I've been getting a lot of UTI, so urinary things, and just kind of the stuff that I thought was my thyroid. It really mimicked my thyroid, and I thought, well, I think my thyroid is probably off. I think my test results will come back. Because he always asks me, how do you think your test results are going to come back? And that kind of goes into my symptoms. And one of my symptoms also has been, which again, I'm sorry, TMI, but again, normal, natural stuff, extremely constipated, which is always an issue for me. And that's why I do like the Teamy colon. I try to do that like every other month. And there's a couple other teas that I discovered. Of course, he always tells me every time I see him about this, he tells me to use fiber. And Julie over at Living Large on Lifetime, she knows exactly what I'm talking about because she has the same issues that I do with stomach stuff. And she has tried the fiber as well, and she has the same results that I do, and it just makes you feel worse. And I told him that, he just seemed kind of shocked, and I said, yeah, I feel at that point that I feel bloated and yucky, and it just feels terrible. And yes, maybe it may work eventually, but I took it for 2 weeks, and it didn't do anything except for made me feel terrible. So I told him I discovered a tea from Yogi, and it's called Soothing Mint. So if any of you have any issues, let me go grab it real quick. So like again, the Teamy colon is fantastic for it, but it's like, if you can't afford it, I mean, because it is a little spendy, we do have discount codes, so my discount code is always down below. So I only buy it about every other month, just so I can, you know, with my budget and everything. So I did discover this one, and it's called Soothing Mint Get Regular. And I told my doctor about it, and he asked me what the ingredients were, and I told him, let me show you, I don't know how clear that'll be. And he said that was fine. He said, do whatever works for you, whatever you want to do. So I drink one of these in the morning and one of them at night. So I'm doing the Teamy colon every other day, and I'm doing this in between. So, yeah, and I just let it steep for a super long time. So that's another thing too. Some people with the Teamy colon can only let it steep like 1 or 2 minutes, which is the same like with this type of thing. But I let it steep for like 20 minutes and then I drink it. And it still doesn't have the same results as some people have. But back in December, when I went to the doctor, I had a bunch of tests done. So I've been cleared of any kind of, you know, things that they thought could be going on with my digestion and things like that. There's nothing there. It's just my body, and it really has been how I've always been, but never really noticed it too much until I was on a weight loss journey, and it really does affect your weight loss. So, anyway, so we ran the test. So he wanted to run also a complete, what do they call it? Complete metabolical panel. And that was because he thought maybe I had some kind of kidney issues, and that could be what was causing the urinary problems. And I'm told I've been having some pain kind of in my back. So he ran the test. So the test came back that my thyroid is in normal range. It's on the higher end of normal range, but not enough to be concerned. And he actually asked me, do I want to raise my medication or do I want to leave it the same? And after hearing the rest of the results, at that point, I just elected to remain the same, because the other panel came back that I was dehydrated, which is interesting because I feel like I drink a lot of water. But here's what, after I started like doing some self-reflection after he told me that, is all of my, and I got the lab report, they send it to you, all of the panel shows with where my results are, where they are in the ranges, that I'm dehydrated. And I started thinking about it. I do great in the mornings. I drink my 32 ounces before I leave for work, because I make myself do that because I can't have my coffee until then. And then once I get to work, I fill up this cup, and I realized I am just sipping on it most of the day. I was doing so good there for all last week, actually all the week before last, and most of last week. I felt like I was drinking all the water that I had set out to drink. So then I started thinking about it. I'm like, sometimes when you're so busy, you don't think about, like last week I wasn't too busy, but I mean, because of spring break, but I was thinking about it, I'm like, was I just really sipping on them all day? Or was I refilling? Because I felt like I was drinking a lot. Then I realized at work this week, and I even kept doing it all day, all week at work, I was realizing that I was not really refilling this. And sometimes I would refill it before it was out, because I was passing by the water thing at work. So I would just refill it. So I wasn't really keeping track of how much water I was actually drinking. So I think I need to start keeping track again. I used to, but I mean, and it wasn't like severe dehydration. So it just happened to be, I probably did not drink as much water as I thought I had like over the weekend. But it really kind of made a flag in my brain that I need to think about that, and I need to focus on that. The other things that came up was that I am deficient in magnesium, vitamin D3, and calcium, which is no surprise, because apparently people who have thyroid issues, it is very common for them to have deficiencies in at least magnesium and vitamin D. My mom's been on all three of those for years. So when I was talking to her about it, she told me, it's surprising that I haven't had it until now. So I do have to take those 3 supplements. I have to take them in the evening before I go to bed. And I just don't want to make sure that they have any reaction with my thyroid medication, which can happen. So it's a magnesium citrate that I take, a calcium, and a vitamin D3. So the magnesium deficiency can mimic the problems that I was having that I attributed to thyroid. So the information sheet they gave me of what kind of symptoms a magnesium deficiency, one of them being constipation, brain fog, just kind of like feeling not really tired, but kind of run down. So, I mean, it was a huge list of things, and I had been feeling some of those things, and apparently it probably was to the magnesium, and obviously not my thyroid. So that's an easy fix. Plus, I'm going to do some research this weekend on foods that are higher in magnesium. And as far as vitamin D3, even my husband's doctor put him on that, because we have more rain and cloudiness here than we do sun, which I guess you get the vitamin D through the sun. And so, anyway, but I don't drink a lot of milk, but I do eat yogurt, so I'm not sure about the calcium thing. But the magnesium was interesting, since that causes so many issues. I really want to find what kind of foods are higher in magnesium and maybe increase those in my diet. Now to the other results, and then I'm going to have to probably cut this video down just a little bit and go. But my cholesterol results. So you guys know that I have been trying to, my journey here really is, was weight loss. And then as I was going through the process, I realized I also want to be a healthier person inside, but not only just outside. And so to achieve that, I had to change my eating habits. And last year's cholesterol results, were not bad compared to the year before. So they have improved. But they still were some areas that I definitely needed to improve, some areas that were kind of scary. I think it's very important that everyone does this. I mean, and my insurance pays for cholesterol testing 100% because it's preventative. And so I definitely would highly recommend you guys to do this in your journey, because if anything else, if you don't, I lost 5 pounds all of last year, and you guys know I was bumming about that really badly. And I just felt like such a failure. So I failure to you guys, because I'm here to try to motivate you. I'm here to keep myself accountable. I want to be inspiring to people. And then, I lose 5 pounds. And I've been kind of just struggling with it. I haven't really let it be shown on camera, but it really has been in my mind a lot. But then I always try to think to myself, I'm not only here to lose weight, I'm also here to just be a healthier me, and know I'm going to be around longer, for my children and my future grandchildren. And I want, and my husband, I want us to have a healthy, happy life together for the rest of our lives. And it's so much more than just being, 150 pounds or whatever I end up being. It's more than that. It's also about the inside. You can have very thin people who are not healthy on the inside. So it's not only about the appearance and the outside. So last year when I got my results, that was kind of my focus. It was like, oh, I can improve these. This is not good. There's a couple numbers that were kind of scary. They were not good. So I'm going to tell you what last year's numbers were and then what this year's numbers were. Okay, so your LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, last year it was 108. And I have a little thing here that they told me to look at to kind of see my chart. Last year it was 108. And your desirable range is between like 120 and 110, or even below 100, of course, is, good, is probably preferred. But so mine was at 108. So it is at kind of at the higher of the desirable range. This year it's down to 88. So I got it down below 100. And you guys, this was just by healthy eating and exercise. And you guys saw what I did all year. I mean, you were here with me all year. My HDL, which is your good cholesterol. So the HDL, the higher the number, the better. So you want to see a higher number on these numbers. Last year, I was 39, which was in the major risk section. So anything 40 and under is a major risk section. When you hit 60 and above, you are at a negative risk for any heart attack. Well, my doctor said that's just what everything says, but I mean, there's other factors that can go into, having a heart attack. But you're at, your risk is very low if you're 60 or above in your HDL. So mine was 39 last year, which under 40 is your major risk. This year it's at 52. So I am only 8 points away from being in that negative risk factor zone. It just amazes me that I could go from being major risk to now I'm in that kind of middle area, and that just really pumped me up, you guys. My total cholesterol last year was 183, which a total cholesterol level is desirable is under 200. So I was still in a desirable range for my total cholesterol. But of course, there's always room to grow. This year, mine was down to 156. So it's even better. I'm even in that better range than I was before. Triglycerides, which I was trying to understand what triglycerides were. I guess that's kind of the buildup of fat in your arteries, and that's what can cause strokes and heart attacks as well. And as far as the high range, desirable range is 150 or lower. Your borderline high when you hit 150 and up. Mine last year was 140, so of course that kind of gave me, pause for concern. And this year it's down to 80. So I have really made such a huge gap in that, you guys. I can't tell you how much this pumped me up when I saw these results. I realized that everything I did last year, it was okay. I did good. Actually, it was more than okay. I really just knocked it out of the park when it came to what I was doing for my body. And the whole reason why I'm doing this, it really kind of validated why I was doing this and that it was working. And I really can't say much more about that besides that this really it just really changed me. I think they normally only say to do, I don't know what, I know that it's like every 5 years, 3 to 5 years is what they say for your cholesterol, unless you have, high ones or you have issues. Like he wasn't going to do it, but he knows that I like it being done every year. So I'm just going to continue to get them done every year. To me, it's important to track my progress. It's important to see what I'm doing, that I'm doing things right, because if something changes and it goes the other way, then that would make me step back and think, okay, whoa, what did I do different this year? So even though I only lost 5 pounds all of last year, these test results show me that doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter in as a whole. As a whole, I am doing exactly what I set out to do, and that is to be healthier on the inside. These test results right here have already made me feel like I've lengthened my life a little bit. Now that may be kind of dramatic, but I think you guys know where I'm going with that. So my plan from here on out is to really focus on healthy, heart healthy, body healthy foods, and just trying to, I'm going to do a lot of research. I mean, I found some throughout the year, but there's so many more out there, things that I feel like I should be incorporating in my diet, and things that are realistic. I mean, I'm not going to go search high and low, buy a bunch of things online just to have them. but because I want it to be realistic. I want to be able to share with you guys. I want all of us to be able to, you know, experience. I want it to be, I don't want to eat things that I don't like. I want it to be things that I enjoy. So it's going to be a lot of experimenting, a lot of just, you know, making some different recipes and just working it all out. So a couple of the things, like one thing, I mean, like you guys know, I've always liked chia seeds. So I'm going to really incorporate these more in my diet because they are so full of omega-3s, which are so good for you. And they're also, you know, good for fiber and protein. They're kind of high smart points though. But I'm still going to do Weight Watchers. I feel like Weight Watchers it's just helped me in other ways besides just, you know, it's put me on this healthy track. Plus it keeps me in control of my portions because I may just go crazy and throw a bunch of these chia seeds in a smoothie, or I have it like this morning, I'm having it on avocado toast. I may just not even measure it out. But because I'm on Weight Watchers, I want to measure it out. I put a half a teaspoon between the 2 slices of bread. I believe that's 0 or 1 points. I haven't tracked it yet. Another thing I've discovered are hemp hearts, and actually Celia had posted these on the Facebook group. She had posted that she had eaten something with these, and I asked her about them. And I, you know, was kind of always seen these, always been kind of nervous to try them because I just didn't know how they would taste. I am not adventurous when it comes to food. You guys know this. So I found this little tiny package at one of my grocery stores for $2 because it's really expensive. This stuff's expensive. But I'll tell you what, it's actually good. It doesn't have a lot of flavor, but it does put enough. I put that also on here. It has enough where it's just good. I don't know. I like how it adds. I put it on my yogurt sometimes, the avocado toast. I put it on sweet potato toast. And it's a little bit higher in points as well, but I only need, I can notice you only need like a teaspoon to cover my bread or whatever I'm eating. So, and it's like 1 point, I think, for a teaspoon, 0 1 points. So I had asked you guys in, what video was that? It was a video, some video. I had said something about comparing, you know, healthy foods, smart points, to like kind of junk foods or not so healthy foods, because I was kind of frustrated thinking that I couldn't eat all these healthy foods because they're higher in smart points, and then I could have, you know, X for this amount of smart points and then go have a candy bar and have it to be the same amount of points, but which one is healthier for you? And you know, I think and a lot of people were interested in that video, but I feel like I'm not prepared. I need to do some more research on it. I need to see if that's even the case, because now that I'm in kind of measuring out things like this and the chia seeds, it's really not that bad. I think, but I definitely want to do some research. And I think as I'm doing the research, because I need to do a lot of research on what kind of foods. Like I said, I want to increase my magnesium in my foods. I want to increase a lot of heart healthy foods. So I want to look a lot of that stuff up. And of course, you guys will be along the way. So I'm just going to really start looking for different things to try to incorporate every week. And as I'm doing that, then I can start making a list of the smart points for these foods and prepare for that video. So it's probably going to be a couple months out for that video, but I definitely am going to do it. And it may not be on the negative side. It may end up being, you know, it's not so bad. So then it's more about your choice versus what the points are on it. So it may be more about, okay, well, sure, you can have this for this points or this for the same amount of points, but which one's better for you? So it's more about making that mental decision. And I think I'm ready to do that. And I think that's why I so encourage you guys to just go to your doctor, have your test results run. If they're not good this first time, it's okay, because now you know it is so easy. It's just only diet. I don't take any medication for this. This was all done diet alone. And it is very easy to turn your cholesterol results around with just diet. And I always heard that and read that, but didn't believe it until I had it right here in front of me. So just highly recommend you doing that. I just think it's so important for your you know, for your mind. I mean, believe me, you guys, it has turned me around so much. So I'm sorry, I'm just kind of going on and on about that. So yeah, this was a fantastic week. I feel like it's just going to get better from here. And I just looking forward to doing so many more. I've been really enjoying all the cooking videos I've been putting up for you guys. I cannot wait to do some more research on some, you know, real healthy, easy recipes that I can do videos for you. So a lot of that will be coming in the coming weeks. This weekend, it's supposed to rain all weekend long. I'm hoping for a break if I can clean out my car, because I never got that done during spring break. So that's the only thing I have planned besides grocery shopping. So it's going to be a pretty quiet, rainy weekend. I'll probably finish my puzzle. That has been so fun to do. I was into reading. Reading is another thing I really do to de-stress, but I was reading back to back to back books, and I realized I needed a break. I needed a break. I needed something that I could just sit there, because I was just vegging out on, you know, Netflix, which I have been watching it, but I've been watching it while I'm doing my puzzle. I discovered Criminal Minds. You guys, why didn't anybody ever tell me about that? You guys know I love psychological thrillers and crime fiction. I didn't even know that show existed. I was really on the Gilmore Girls kick for a while, and I made it to the last season, which is not my favorite. So I kind of made about halfway through the last season and was just like, I'm just kind of over this. And so I saw Criminal Minds, and I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. And wow, like I've already watched 11 episodes, and that's just sitting here while I'm doing my puzzle. It's just kind of background noise for me, because I don't like quiet. So that's what I've been loving this week. I've been watching that, like I said, 11 episodes, but I've been doing my puzzle. I just sit down every night after dinner, after I do my kind of nightly stuff, and then sit down and just work on my puzzle, and we can all talk. I mean, it's just something that's not, you know, really, the kids will come in, they'll kind of help me with a couple pieces. My husband's over there on his computer, he'll come over and look at it. I mean, it's just been just kind of a breath of fresh air. So I'm going to pick up a couple more this weekend, because I think this is going to be kind of my new thing right now. I'm just really excited about it. So find something that makes you happy, something that is a really de-stressor for you, that you can just get yourself lost in. It's been such a great thing. I've been sleeping really well. Yeah, I don't know. Things are just going really good. So I hope you guys all had a good week as well. I'm sorry this video is a little bit longer than I anticipated. Just let me know down below how your week went and what your plans are for the weekend. I should have a meal prep up on Sunday, and of course grocery haul tomorrow. So I will talk to you all on Monday for a kind of check-in how the weekend went and what I ate and my usual videos. So you guys all have a fantastic weekend. Bye guys.